Good evening, everybody. Welcome to their round 3 here in Zandvoort, the Netherlands. Just about to start our qualifying, which will be in a slightly altered setup due to the recent loss of a fellow friend from a different league. Therefore, Ralphie, who will be shown on screen as Zonneveld, will be doing a outlap during qualifying, come back into the pits, then we have a moment of silence, and then when Ralphie goes out again, we will have our qualifying on the way. Just waiting for Ralphie to exit the pits. It's still loading the session for the last races, I guess. There we go. So the wait is for Zonneveld to have his setup loaded and getting out of the pit to do his outlap for tonight.
Big names, Jim Clark, Jackie Stewart, Nicky Lauda and Alan Prost have all previously won the Dutch GT.
And it looks like we have some movement, and somebody didn't quite get the memo, unfortunately. Let's focus on Zonneveld, who now leaves the pits. And while he does so, I'll start the statement we from ERL have. And that's dear family, friends, fellow racers. Great sadness, we've heard that Ash Farrow, aka Aurora Glick, has passed away on Sunday. I want to remember Ash as a kind, funny person with the most beautiful beard. I want to thank Ash for all he's done for the races and friends he made during his league racing. He was fast, clean and overall kind to all that know him well. Our deepest condolences go to his fiancée, family and friends. We'd like to honour him with a minute of silence starting tonight when Zonneveld is back in the pits after an outlap. For all those that are watching it live or watch it back fresh, our deepest sympathy goes with you, and may you find strongness in the legacy Ash left behind. There will be a link as well that will be for his passing away. They've started a fundraiser, but for now, let's start a minute of silence.
Ever heard singing coming from the Alpine garage? Some say that's legendary mechanic Curly Wainwright. The 1985 Grand Prix would prove to be the circuit's last F1 event for over 35 years. Lauda, entering his final race, also went on to win. While Alberto Ascari and Nicky Lauda have both led 180 laps, icon Jim Clark holds the record of 370 laps left. After years of speculation, the return of the Dutch Grand Prix was finally confirmed in May 2019. I'm sure the meteoric rise of Max Verstappen has some part to play behind the event's comeback. Big names such as Jim Clark, Jackie Stewart, Nicky Lauda and Alan Prost have all previously won the Dutch GT. As one of the more challenging circuits, Zandvoort is not the easiest place to overtake, so expect lots of do-or-die moments at the end of the entry and exit of the home straight. Jim Clark is one of the most successful drivers here at Zandvoort. In a 5-year period between 1969
And that is Zandvoort leaving the pits with the minute of silence over. May you rest in peace, buddy. As I said just before the minute started, there will be a link dropped below in the comments after the stream has ended to donate for Ash and his fiance he's leaving behind. But for now, let's get to racing. And first one that will be starting the lap is going to be the top house vlogger who is starting it now, coming over the start finish straight here in Zandvoort into turn 1, which is a corner that just keeps on getting tighter, easy to get the car loose on the exit. Does that nicely through turn 2 and then into the very bank turn 3. Gets a grip, a little bit of traffic there that will slow him down. And it does look like he has given up the lap perhaps. And that Williams is definitely blocking more people. Who is that? Yeah, that is Dirk Ommeren, who also been seen by the game to be blocking and got a 5-place grid penalty. Dirk, buddy, if you're watching, watch out for people behind you on a hot lap that you have just impeded. Oh, and we just switched over to Vardy, who went wide, had a moment, went into the wall. Doesn't seem to have any damage or invalidated. Still seems to be going strongly on this lap. Let's see if he can finish the lap with a decent time. He doesn't. So yeah, for now the vloggers set some slow laps as they've of course been impeded. There's the Ferraris. Tom has just started a lap and Zonneveld posted a 1:11.314. It's the first time to beat full pole position. Robbo's on an out lap, Neil is on a lap. Just gone through turn 3. Already used quite a bit of his DRS or ERS even. I wonder if that's gonna stick all the way till the end of the lap. Getting purple in sector 1, but that's just his first lap. As we know, that's a bit glitchy in this game. Brian now dives on the Zonneveld's time of a 1:11.314 to a 1:10.9. And yeah, I think that's Niels' ERS completely exhausted. Top house now a 1:10.4 and a top car beats his brother with a 1:9.7. Dirk Ommeren now puts a 1:10.8 on the table. That's not too bad. Tom with a 1:9.9. And let's stick with Robbo to see what he's doing. Neil has won a 1:09.9. Very close at the top there. Azarakis puts it in 4th with a 1:10.1. And let's see what Robbo does as he goes through the last corner, overstart finish. And only 5th from him with a 1:10.3. Might have been a nice banker lap. Dan is in the pictures going out and Cavolis is on his out lap. So let's stick with Cavolis. He goes through turn 13 to prep his lap. And off he goes. DRS not quite open yet. There he goes. He didn't quite get the memo that the DRS straight has been enlarged this year. And into turn 1, those curbs last year were quite slippery. They seem to be a lot better this year. And through the bank corner he decides to take the tight line and then let it run wide on the exit. Various lines are possible there with that bank corner. Just watch your own preference really. 24.9 in the first sector. Not quite sure how good that is. I haven't been paying attention to the individual sector times that much quite yet. Through tricky sector 2, seems to be doing all right. Keeps nicely together onto the second DRS straight of the lap. One car, but that seems to be staying out of the way, so that's all right. And through the difficult hairpin, there was some traffic there, but it seemed to be out of the way. Teammate as well, by the looks of it. Nicely through turn 14 and 15. Forgot to turn corner numbers correct. Overstart finish straight. Not the fastest of laps. 1:10.9. Nice banker lap to get it started. And what is then doing? Just finished the first sector. This corner here is so easy to get the car unsettled, especially if you just hit that curb on the outside of turn 8. It gets a bit wobbly. You can even pitch the car and become a complete passenger. And then seems to be doing a double outlap, as he hasn't been using his ERS yet. Maybe he messed up the lap in the beginning. Definitely not a fast time either. Is he going to go for it now? He's got the DRS open, using the ERS now, so yes, that's a double outlap for Den. First one of tonight and yesterday that I see doing a double outlap. Maybe he's found something that the others haven't thought of. He takes a bit wider line than what we saw on previous laps. Let's see how that works out for him. You are able to get a bit more acceleration out of it. 24.7, I think that was about 0.2 faster than the lap we saw before. So that would put him on a 1:10.7, I think, so around P9. Through sector 2, 1.8 quicker, so that will be a 1:10.9. And there's a little bit more in it in that last sector with using the ERS. So let's see, I say around P9 or 8 is where he will finish with this lap. And it is P9. Alright, so Azarakis, he's turn 3, not on the lap. He is on the lap, let's follow him. A little bit of an improvement on his time, getting to 1:10 flat now. He needs to get 3:10s to gain if he wants to conquer for pole. Bit wobbly there through the mid of sector 2, turn 9 that is, onto the DRS straight. Bit late with opening the DRS, that will cost him a few thousandths of a second. But 3:10s up on his time, so that might be getting close to a pole contender here. There will be 1:09.8 as it is, unless he finds some more in the last sector. And what will it be? A bit wobbly on the exit there. And it's a 1:09.9. He lost a little bit in the last sector. Who are we watching now? Who haven't we watched? Let's Curvequake as he takes pole. The 1:09.6. Very, very good time there. Top House, he is improving 2:10s so far. End of sector 2 now, still 2:10s, but close to 3. So he will gain about 1 position with that for P6, unless he finds some more in the last sector, which he might well do, because obviously the previous lap he did was on tires that were used a lap more than his current tires will be. And 5:10s puts it on P3 for now, with a 1:09.8. Limited Dani, he's done. Is he on the lap? He is on the lap. Let's follow him. Slightly down on his time. Let's see if he can find anything in sector 2 and 3. Seem to taken a little bit of a short line through turn 9 there. But will it have... Ooh, and he gives up the lap. He decides to go again later on, and let's see what Dirk can do. He improves to P7 with a 110.3. So that will be starting 12th for him as it stands, with the impeding of the two Red Bull drivers. And Harvey, new guy then, he only just done his trial tonight and passed it. And doesn't seem to be on the lap right now. Vardy then, where is Vardy? There's not a lot of ERS he's got. Neither does Lange at the end of the lap. That's not very good where they are. How about Neil? What's Neil doing? He's just finished the lap as well and puts himself in P3 with a great time of a 109.8 flat. So in that case, the next one to settle up should be Brian, who is on an out lap now. Let's see what he will do as he goes through the last corners. Overstart finish. And hey there, Oscar. Nice for you to watch. Hope you're doing alright. Can't wait to see you on the track again soon, mate. Let's focus again on Brian. Bit of a wobble there on the exit. That will cost him a little bit on the acceleration through the end of sector 1. And it shows as he's 0.003 of a second down. Of course, still a lot of room to improve here. It's only the first sector and he's pretty much equal on his time. But I'm sure he knows he could have been slightly faster through that first sector. Let's see what he does in sector 2 now, nearly approaching the end of that as he enters the braking zone here. And it says it's a purple sector 2, but that will be for the sub 10. And he is over a 10 top on his time. And that might gain him a few places. Let's see, it was a bit wobbly through the bank corner there. But he improves. 4 tenths gets him into 8th position. And that is quite a decent lap by Brian there. And we just switched to Robbo and he's just started the lap, so let's stick with him for now. Let's see if he can challenge here for the pole position. I know he's not practiced a lot lately. He's been away working a lot, but already sector 1 he improves 3 tenths. If he can do the same in sector 2 and 3, he'll easily get pole here, but let's see what he does. Obviously cheering for Robbo here as the co-owner of the league. A little bit of traffic ahead, which might make him suffer a little bit. They're going side by side through the chicane in front of him, but 5.5 tenths up on his lap. Oh, and he spins, and it might have been the Ferrari in front of him that distracted him a little bit. I'm not too sure if that's the case or not, but that's his pole contender a lap over. Oh, what a shame. And top house vlogger on a lap. Let's see if he can contend for pole. He needs to improve 2 tenths in total. And make that 3 tenths now as Curvequake reset the pole lap at 109.5. And Top House didn't quite improve. Robbo is not going to improve. Let's see what Dandan's doing. He is improving. And he puts it in P11. And that is our qualifying for tonight complete. With Curvequake in P1. Azarakis in P2, Top car flogger in P3, Neil, the Great Wall of Neil in P4, top house flogger in 5, Tom P6, Limited Danny P7, Dirk in P8 but will go down to P13. Brian then, he will be starting from 8th, Robbo in 9th, Tandem in 10th. I'll pick it up from there once I get the next screen. So Denden will start 10th, Candid in 11th, Cavolis will be 12th, and then Harvey 14th, LLCC in 15th, Zonneveld 16th, Vardy in 17th, Lange in 18th, and 19th is VDV Ale, and he didn't set a lap because he is a faster driving reserving and is not allowed to set a quali lap. How he did that with a disqualify rather than a did not set a lap or DNF, I do not know. But that will be our starting grid. So now we're waiting for the drivers to choose their strategy and choose their setup, and then we are on the way. Strategy tonight is not going to be influenced by any weather, as it is a dry race for tonight. We do this based on real-time weather, and the rain forecast was less than 20%, so it will be a dry race. And I can hear a countdown, so we must be close to starting our race, which will start with a formation lap. And let's have a look at the tires. Again, quite a few different strategies. Azarakis in P2, starting on the hard lap, trying to go long, together with Denden in P10 and Kendall in P11. And Harvey and Vardy down the back in P14 and 17. Then the rest of the grid, a couple of medium runners, Gerv P1, Limited Danny in 7th, Cavolis in 12th, Zonneveld in 16th, and Lange and VDV in 18th and 19th. And all the others are soft runners. A pretty even split of about a third for each set of tires tonight. Personally, I found that the undercut is quite strong here in Zandvoort. It was compared against AI, so not the best measurement tool. And yesterday's strategy didn't quite work out with the safety cars that we had. But I think unless we get a load of safety cars, which Zandvoort does invite for, the soft tire runners should be having the best strategy here. But of course, if you think the soft tire isn't working for you, then you stay away from them and do a medium hard or hard medium. Or you have looked into it into more detail than I have, and you have found something different. So let's see as the drivers line up how the strategy is gonna work out. A couple of drivers missing their parking spot here, and a couple more, but we have got 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and Robbo is getting a drive-through for a jump start, and away we go with Curvequake getting a good start, but going defensive straight away, and Top Car Vlogger going around the outside and doesn't quite get the move done. So Curvequake takes the pack in the lead for the first lap, and Azraki's lost that second place to Top Car, who's now second, but obviously Top Car is in the softer tires, so he's going to go full attack to see if he can make the most out of these tires. He needs the clean air for that. The drive-through by Robbo, which will need to be served in the first 3 laps now, is going to hamper his race massively, and he'll be praying for a safety car later on to make up for that mistake. Already we can see the top 2 cars running away slightly from the rest of the pack, obviously held up by Azrakis in his harder, slower tires, as we have a caution in sector 3, and that's a Haas falling back, and that's limited Dani, and he's got a wing broken, so he will have spun on the exit of turn 13, which is easily done. Didn't quite see how the rejoin was, but I hope that was safe. And just watch out as you go into the pit, because it is only 60 kilometers an hour, and he gets it slowed down nicely. Robbo doing his drive-through straight away, now making the most of his soft tires, as he's got some very much fresh air. And let's see how the battles are going on. Top Car still all over the back of Curvequake, and at the same time Top House is right all over the back of Azarakis, with Neil behind him, and Tom will be looking against a great wall of Neil here, as we see a Red Bull and Alfa Romeo fighting hard but fair, from what I could see. Top House Vlogger tried it on into 12 and 13, which can be done, but we got a virtual safety car now, and what is that for? We got Dirk Omren falling back. Doesn't seem to be him, but guys, watch out for your delta time. As we all know, with a virtual safety car or the safety car, the delta can be quite broken. We got some hard tires coming into the pit. Top House Vlogger, what is he gonna do? He's gone onto the hard tire, and Gendot is putting a new wing and medium tires on. Those won't quite go until the end, although yesterday somebody managed to keep them going for 30 laps, but they were quite high in wear, so I don't expect him to make them go 33 laps. Still got the virtual safety car going. Just mind the delta, guys. Don't want to see any more drive-through penalties for going too fast. Let's see how Dirk Ommeren's restart goes behind LLCC. Already gained a few positions from P13 up into P10, and Harvey falls for the trap of the safety car glitch as well, I think right at the end of the safety car restart, or virtual safety car restart. So he must have gone slightly under his delta as the virtual safety car ended, and he goes for these drive-throughs straight away. And with that, Dirk gains another position, and he is all over the back of LLCC. With it only being a virtual safety car, we will have the DRS still going. Nevertheless, this lap won't be postponed for 2 laps like with a normal safety car. So let's see if Dirk can get it on the DRS straight in sector 2 goes a little bit wide there through turn 7 from the top of my head. I've increased his gap slightly towards LCC. I think he will be out of range for the DRS straight here, as it's only a short DRS straight, but let's see what he can do. He's using up all his ERS. DRS is wide open, and it's not quite on just yet, but it might be on the start-finish straight, which as well isn't the longest of straights, but it can be done. As Top Car, in a further attempt to get the lead, puts the fastest lap to a 1:12.0 and is even more so all over the back of Curvequake. And Dirk is going to have a look, and he puts it right in front of LCC already, but LCC is trying to find back, going side by side, but yeah, Dirk has got the position. So now let's go back to Top Car and Curvequake, as they are quite close, and with the DRS now coming on, maybe this lap Top Car can finally put those soft tires to use and overtake a Curvequake. Again, 5/10, it's a bit too much to get it on this DRS straight, but it will get you closer to the guy in front to get the attack going over the start-finish straight. It's not quite gaining anything yet. 5 laps, so soft tires should still be good for a little bit more of an attack on the medium runners, but no, he's lost about 2/10 there. And that might be the changeover point in pace between the medium and the hard runner tires. But let's go to Tom. Oh, Tom tried to overtake Azarakis, but Azaraki spun on the inside. Couldn't quite see what happened there. I was just switching over as it happened. But let's go LLCC. Oh, a bit of a battle there with Dirk and VDV Ale. And is Ale gonna take the position from Dirk? Not quite. Maybe on the exit here, as he is a lot faster than Dirk, I think. But no, he stays put and decides to do the sensible thing. But let's stick with this fight, because I want to see how he overtakes him. And behind as well, we got LCC and Dandan. As LCC goes a bit wide, and that might create a gap for Dandan to get the overtake done. No, not quite. Dirk's ERS is flashing all over the place, saying it needs recharging, but LCC's isn't. Still deciding to stay put behind him and wait for the DRS straight here. And surely this is where he's going to do it. Dirk is defending the inside, but it is pointless, and VDV takes 8th place away from Dirk. And we've got Lange retired, which brings out a full safety car, and Vardy has got a 5-second penalty for severe collision with Lange. So I'm wondering what happened there. But this is the virtual the safety car that those with the drive-through were hoping for. Lange, if you are listening and you're in the stream, let me know what happened there exactly, because I am obviously curious to know, and then I can inform everybody as well. Now, will we be seeing any pit stops? I am guessing Top Car is quite happy with this safety car, and he might go in for medium or hard tires to go to the end. And even Curvequake goes for it. So Curvequake will be going for the hard tires, I think. But let's go to Top Car first. He's first in the pit box. He's not going to show us, but he goes too hard to go to the end. Curvequake definitely will be going for the hard. Who's got the better pit stop and will come out in front? Curvequake keeps it, and we see Azarakis taking over the lead, as he didn't pit. So later on he will be suffering from this, but for now he will take the lead. as Limited Danny also falls victim of the delta time and gets a drive-through penalty. Now, Vardy hasn't pitted, and with him getting a 5-second penalty for his incident with Lange, I would have pitted under the safety car, get rid of 5 seconds, as this will not really jeopardize your race that much then. But yeah, he decided not to and keep his hard tires going for a little bit longer, which is also a fair shout, I suppose, as it will be a little bit too early to go for the mediums, perhaps. Yeah, so after the pit stops now, pretty much everybody on the hard tires except LLCC, who decided on the safety car to go for the soft tires. Didn't quite know what tires he started on, but he perhaps got a new set of mediums that he can bring into the window after his soft tires have run out in about 10 laps or so. And then Gandot decided to keep his 5-lap-old mediums. And then we got Harvey, Vardy, Denden and Azarakis on 7-lap-old hards, and Top House Vlogger on 5-lap-old hards. And Limited Danny as well on 6-lap-old hards. Those have all decided not to pit under the safety car, as they either pitted before or decided it's way too early for their hard tires to get changed. Now, penalty-wise, we got a 5-second penalty for Vardy, of course, and a Limited Danny with a drive-through. Position changes then. Winner so far, Vardy with 9 places gained, now in P8. Ale 7 places gained, and Denden 6 places gained for a top 3. Most places lost, and Limited Danny 11. Robbo with 8, obviously with his early drive-through, and Cavolis with 4 places lost. The others, a position here and there lost, but other than that, pretty similar to what we got. Top Guy even managed to stay where he was on the grid. And we'll go back to Azarakis to see how he does the safety car restart, as the safety car will be in this lap. So Azarakis decides the pace now and waits for the safety car to be far enough away to start this race again. And let's see where he does it. It can be really late here or quite early, but obviously you have to take into account you can't overtake the safety car before it entered the pits. But Azarakis seems to be off. Curvequake is quite awake. He's still on the back and seems to have the better exit as well, obviously on his better tires. Already you start to see the change in tire difference, and Curvequake tries it around the outside. Doesn't quite get the move done, and Azarakis, rightly so, covers off the exit, and he will keep the lead for now. Behind Top Car Vlogger is still in 4th, and we do have a couple of cars. And is that a full safety car again? Robbo, Limited, and LCC has DNF'd, and we do have a full safety car again. That's the downside with a safety car. Quite often it can lead to another safety car on the restart. Bert Mailander definitely getting his laps in again today. So again, guys, watch your delta. I don't want to see any more penalties, of course, for the drive-through. And for those of you that already have the drive-through, you can serve that penalty on the lap that the safety car is coming in. That counts as your first lap. So Limited Danny, you will have 2 laps left to do so. And you wouldn't be the first to get a victim of the game not serving you the drive-through penalty when you think it can be done, or not serving it when it can be done and getting a DSQ because of that. Couple more drivers, Limited Dani and Gundot deciding to get some fresh rubber on. Let's see what they put on. Limited Dani put some fresh mediums on, and Gundot some slightly used hards, which might take him to the end of this race actually. So we'll be waiting until they get back to the back of the pack before the safety car will come in, and that might be another lap before we restart. It's only a short track here in Zandvoort, but it is quite a challenging track, being quite narrow, and you do need the full focus for the full length of the race, as the only place you really have a moment to rest and have a breather is on the start-finish straight. And even then, if you're being attacked, there's not a lot of wiggle room to defend the position or become a hero. So even then, you need to keep the focus. The moment you go through turn 1 again, or enter the braking zone, really, it's full focus again for the remainder of the lap. And over the course of 36 laps, being such a short circuit, it will start to wear you out, and that's where you will start to see mistakes at the end of the race. But Gundot has returned back to the back of the grid, so the safety car will be coming in this lap. We should get that message somewhere in at the end of sector 2, I think it gives the message here. And again, we're going to see how Azarakis does the restart. But please, guys, be patient on that restart. Don't go for any do or die actions, as just isn't enough room on this track. And also, it's not a sprint race, it's a marathon, and the points are at the finish. But to get there first, you do need to reach that finish line at the end of the 36 laps. So please be patient, guys. And then there's the message. The safety car will come in this lap. So again, Azarakis will decide the pace. Already he decides to go quite slow there. As the safety car pulls away. Nobody seems to be getting surprised by that. A little bit of weaving going on to get that last bit of temperature. And Harvey now gets a 5-second penalty for severe collision with Zonneveld. And that happens in the mid-pack. That might show up in the steward's room, but in the meantime, Azarakis has done it earlier than last lap, and this time Curvequake got caught by surprise. Straight away, top car is all over him, going side by side through turn 1, but Curvequake, by a miracle, keeps the position. And also managed to find his way back to Azarakis despite fighting over the position with top car. Normally you lose a bit of lap time, but no, not this time, as Dandan and Neil are fighting it out as well. And so far Dandan is showing that he can defend as well, that it's not just the great wall of Neil that's got the signature move. But back to front runners again, as they are 3 wide, more or less, going through turn 10. Single file again for these corners here, and the order remains unchanged, but this fight might go on for a little bit as they're all over the back of each other. Azarakis may be losing a little bit here. Obviously, all the tires might start to give in. So yeah. He lost the lead to Curvequake, and we got a new race leader. In the back we see Neil overtaking Dandan, and he's got it done before turn 1. And then Top House says thank you very much as well, and I'll take that position too. So in the space of 2 corners, Dandan lost 2 places there, and we see a Ferrari go wide. I think that Ferrari was trying to get into that fight and didn't quite had the room to do so. So Tom now still in P7 and lost a little bit of time by going wide. Harvey and Vardy are fighting it out a little bit here, side by side through that second sector. Keep it nicely together. And Dirk Omren says, thank you very much, Harvey. And the AlphaTauri of Zonneveld tries it as well around the outside, and they make contact. And I'm sure that will show up in the steward's room. Didn't see any wing parts flying, but Zonneveld definitely lost the position there to Ale. As Gandot nearly outbreaks himself into the back of Zonneveld as well. And as we start this lap, the DRS is going to be enabled. And we got Curvequake being overtaken by a Top Car Flogger for the lead, and still being all over him. Let's see if he can stay with him and manage to keep fighting for that position for the lead. I want to see this fight going for the remainder of the race, to be honest. And Neil's trying to get onto the podium as well by being all over Azarakis. DRS wide open. He decides to go for the inside and now does a dummy for the outside, but no, doesn't quite get it done with Top House now all over the back of him as well. And let's see if they can get the move done on the start-finish straight. I think Azarakis with his older tires is going to be the sitting duck here. Already the DRS is open and Neil is going for the move. Goes to the inside early and gets the move done. And Top House going for it as well with the double slipstream. Is he going to try it on Neil? But no, he doesn't. He takes the 1 position for granted and decides to try Neil on later on. Yeah, Azarakis from the lead in time span of about 3 laps. We see him going back to 5th place with his older hard tires. Even though they were only 7 laps older than the rest of them, you can clearly see the pace difference. Let's see how Tom is doing, still being behind Dandan. Bit of a DRS train forming there from 3rd place behind Neil all the way back to... I was going to say Brian, but he's just in and out of DRS. For now, with Brian as well, even though he doesn't get the DRS on this straight just yet. Roberto, after his drive-through from the start, he's now back in P9. Obviously, the 2 safety cars have helped him a little bit with that. Dirk now in P11, all over the back of Harvey, with a 5-second time penalty and another 3-second time penalty for track limits. Dirk and Ale go side by side through the last corner. Maybe a little bit of wheel bang there, I'm not too sure. And Dirk outbrakes himself into turn 1. And I hope that was a safe rejoin by Dirk there. And Gerv is still trying it on with Top Car. It's good to see he's staying with him. I'm sure I saw some ERS lights flashing on one of the cars before. Seems to be Curve and not Top Car. So for the moment it seems like Top Car's got the upper hand ERS wise, even though he's the one defending himself. We got another yellow flag, and that's Harvey dropping down in sector 2, spin on the exit there of turn 10, which can easily be done, especially if you overheat the tires around here. they are a pain to cool down again. As we see Azarakis trying it on around the outside. We've seen it a few times this race, people trying it on around the outside of turn 1. Doesn't quite seem to work as nice as it did last year. Last year, turn 1 outside was a great overtaking spot, as was turn 3. Instead of attacking for Azarakis, we see Denden and Azarakis having to defend quite hard against Tom. And he's very eager to get past them, but them fighting as well is hampering his overtake attempts a little bit, as 2 cars wide is quite hard to overtake here as a third car. Bear in mind, it's hard enough sometimes as it is to go side by side. Tom does try it on in turn 12 or 13 even. Doesn't quite get it done, but I had a little look. Rear wing wide open again for all of these guys. And Tom doesn't really gain enough to get the position. Curvequake keeps getting close to top car with the help of DRS, and I think I saw DRS flashing now on top car, yes. So let's see, maybe Curvequake can have the advantage this time round. Very close together, but they keep it nice and clean. Really the racing we'd love to see, guys. This is what we like. So through the last corner of Sector 2, DRS will be wide open for Curvequake, and doesn't quite get it done here, but they are so close together. Maybe a little bit of a touch. No end plates flying, so no wing damage by the looks of it. But now, being within 3/10, will Curvequake be able to get the move done on the start-finish straight with his DRS wide open? He picks the inside, a little bit of a dent in the road there, but side by side they go in through turn 1. Top car decides to try and around the outside to defend, and no, the move is on, and Curvequake has retaken the lead. And Azarakis and Top House are fighting it out through turn 1 as well. Will Azarakis make it work? No, not quite, as Top House hangs on to a 4th place. It's good to see Azarakis fighting it back again on those older tires. And I'm sure we got a Sector 2. That's a Red Bull that spun. Where did that happen? Who is... It's Top Car Vlogger that's fallen back from... That was from 2nd place. Oh no, I wondered what happened there. Hopefully it wasn't any sort of contact between Top Car and Curvequake. But he will be fuming, dropping back from 2nd to 8th. Either at himself, or obviously if there's been some sort of contact, he will be having those issues with Curvequake. If so, I'm sure we'll see it in the steward's room. Azarakis then decides to go into the pits to get rid of his older hard tires, to get onto the medium tires, I presume. And he does. Few cars, he will be coming out after the Aston Martins. Or I say Aston Martins, but that's the blue the game chooses for the AlphaTauri. So after he's behind Cavalis. But we're now with fresh medium tires, 15 laps to go. He can push these tires quite good until the end. So he will be fighting his way through the rest of the pack again. Hopefully into some sort of points. And then still in the DRS behind Top House, with Tom still behind him. And let's have a look at the AlphaTauris as well. I haven't seen much of them just yet. But they are behind each other in DRS range. Will they be doing some sort of team radio call? And they go side by side through the chicane here, and Cavolis takes the spot. but then has a snap on the exit and loses it again. But it did look like Zonneveld was saying, go on then, you've got more pace, you can go ahead and take the position and I'll try to follow. But now Cavolis has to defend for Azarakis on his new medium tyres. And Azarakis was outside of DRS when we entered the DRS detection zone. And he goes around the inside in turn 1 and that was a very brave move. Didn't quite think there was enough space to do so, but he did. He managed to make it work without any contact, so a nice overtake from Azarakis there. Driver of the day of last week, and he's showing today as well why that was, as he puts down a purple sector 1. He's going for the fastest lap as well with this strategy. That attempt being slightly hampered, being behind Zonneveld on his older hard tyres. As we got another yellow flag into sector 2. As Azarakis again puts it around the inside of turn 9, as we saw Williams being spun there, and that is Dirk Ommeren, who does do the rejoin nice and safe. In the meantime, Azarakis of course made that move on Zonneveld. I think he will have lost a little bit of time through sector 2 there, and he does have a little bit of clean air before he meets his teammate, so he might be able to set another attempt at the fastest lap this time round. But for now, it's Top Car Vlogger who sets the fastest lap on medium tyres. And Tom, who's been fighting with Den for quite a few laps, now has to defend from Ale, who is now all over the back of him. With the DRS train going, Tom might be able to defend it this way, but Ale being a very fast driver, he might be getting that position quite soon. Which in a way might affect Tom's battle with Dan, because obviously if you have to defend and then you get another car in between yourself and the guy you want to race, it becomes a lot harder to overtake the guy you want to race. But for now, Ale is sticking behind, being patient, and leaves Tom to try it on with Dan still. Tom tries a bit of a different line there, sees if he can get a better exit out of turn 3, but doesn't quite get it done yet. He came very close to putting a nose next to Dan to try the overtake. Yeah, the fight is at the front really for that last podium place, all the way from Top House to Ale, who now gets Tom. So best thing for Tom to do is stick with Ale and see if he can make use of Ale passing the guys in front to then stick his nose in as well if there's room. But Tom seems to be dropping away a little bit for now. And we got Curvequake coming. Was it Curvequake coming? No, it was Den in the Alpine. And Robbo now made his way forward to 7th and finding himself behind Brian. Azarakis in 8th now, past his teammate as well. Now got some true fresh air to see if he can put that fastest lap in. And I was going to say Top Car behind Gendot now, but he's already gone past him. And that was a very narrow track, part of the track to go side by side, but they managed to keep it working and keep it nice and tidy. Then he's definitely going for the fastest lap on his soft tires. Decided to go hard to soft, as we have Gendot spun in sector 2. Yeah, let's watch Den on Zonneveld. And he's got the move done on the DRS straight, not the longest of straight to do it, but he did. Obviously making the best use of these soft tyres and now taking the final place 4 points away from Zandvoort. Tom is sticking inside the DRS range of ERL. So he might still have a shot at that podium position if Top House and ERL are fighting it out. He might be alongsing a third in that battle. I'm sure the last time we followed these guys, Brian was still in front of Robbo, but Robbo has gone through. And we've got Gandot in the pits, well, leaving the pits already. Sure, he had some front wing damage from that spin he had on the previous lap. Now he can try and find that fastest lap as well as in ERL. Everybody, even outside the top 10, if you put the fastest lap down for the race, all you have to do is finish and you get the extra point for the fastest lap. As Ale goes around the outside of Top House Vlogger, and that's the first time in this game I've seen that move work. It's a lovely move when you get it done and you nail it down. And indeed, then using his soft tyres for a 1:11.6 for the fastest lap of the race so far. Yeah, that move around the outside is a great move if you can make it work. It feels so rewarding. It is quite a risky move for yourself, because if the other guy doesn't give you the space on the exit, you have to either give up the move, go into the gravel, or risk some wing damage, which obviously is not the way to go. So in that respect, it's quite a tricky move, but if you get it done, it feels very, very nice. Tom has let go a little bit for that position for third place, but Top House is still hanging on to Ale with the help of DRS, and let's see if he can still keep that momentum going, as I think we see a back marker of either Harvey or Vardy coming out the pits in the Mercedes. And as a Dutch guy, I have to say it's always nice to see a Mercedes car being lapped at Zandvoort, especially at Zandvoort. I'm sure some English guys in the server will be fuming for me saying that. So let's go to Denden, and hang on, actually let's go to Azarakis, as he's putting a move on Brian. And he's done it before we even reached the braking zone, and Brian a little bit out of shape there. Let's see what Denden can do on Top Car Vlogger with his new soft tires, being in the DRS range as well. All the other gaps have gone a little bit too big for overtakes, but Denden makes it look easy on the start-finish straight with the slipstream and the DRS wide open. Next captain will be Ale, who's gaining on his teammate Neil. I don't think Neil and Ale have met on track just yet, but let's see how big the Great Wall of Neil is against his teammate. As limited Dani and Zonneveld change positions. That's because Zonneveld goes into the pit for the fastest lap as well, I assume. And Tomka now getting back in the DRS range of Top House as well. But first, let's see if Neil gets to keep Ale behind him on the start-finish straight. For now, I think he does. Neil has got some incredible straight line speed there, which will make it quite difficult for his teammate to pass him on the bendy bits, because it's just very difficult to overtake here, and Neil doesn't really make it any easier with his defending skills. Tondo getting close to top house vlogger as well. In the meantime, let's follow this battle for a while with a ghosted car in the background. We're not doing the latest edition of Ghostbusters, it's just so that nobody gets hampered with a spun or a lap driver. Let's see what VDV LA does on this straight. No, doesn't quite get it done again, not even on the braking, no, so let's switch back to Tom. And he doesn't get it done on the braking either. And that is a little bit of commentator's curse there, sorry Tom. Kept it nicely together, kept your wing in one piece. But that's the fight over, and here we go again with Ale and Neil, and this time I do think he gets it done, yes he does. So Ale now into second place. We got a full safety car. Why do we have a full safety car? As Dandan gets a 5-second penalty for severe collision with Robbo. That happened after the safety car came out. I can't see anybody being DNF'd. I see Azarakis being spun here, and he's been disqualified for parked in a dangerous location. And I think it was because he just couldn't get his car moving. Luckily he is ghosted there. Spun it in the last corner. Is it the last corner? Yes it is. And yeah, easy to spin there, and if you do, the walls are too close, lose the wing, and then with corner being banked, can't quite see what's going on. If you try to be safe in your rejoin, you might even get stuck on the curb or on the grass, and if you're stuck for too long, then the game will disqualify you. It's as easy as that. As Girthquake gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings for track limits, and actually Neil has overtaken Ale again just before the safety car came out, but Neil now goes into the pits, as does Ale. No, Ale stays out. No, he does come in. He does come in. He left a little bit of a gap there. Yeah, everybody coming in for fresh soft tyres for the last sprint bit of the race. Some already had fresh softs on, or fresh enough, so they won't be coming in. The 3-second time penalty Gerv got for track limits, that will cost him dearly, I think, at the end of this race with the last second safety car. So the only ones not on soft tyres are Zonneveld and Dirk Ommeren, and I assume that will be because they did not have any fresh softs left. And Iron Kid is rooting for Neil for the win in the stream, which could well happen, though I see Ale taking the win as well on this one. Obviously I love to see one of the Red Bull cars win, being a Red Bull driver in Tier 1 myself. But yeah, the last, how many laps are we going to have? We're not going to go racing in this lap quite yet, I think. So we will have the restart in going into lap 34, so that leaves us with 3 laps of racing. And Gerv needs to do a heck of a job to get 3 seconds away from the cars behind. Quite a bit of a gap there between Neil and Girthquake. The game will pick that up as well if the gap becomes too big, and then give you a timer to get back into position. Otherwise you will get a penalty, but they're all back close enough behind each other now. Hopefully by the end of this lap enough cars will have backed up so we can have those 3 laps of racing. Because that will also mean that in the last lap, as we go over the start-finish straight for the end of the race, we'll have done a DRS open for that lap. If we continue another lap, we won't have that DRS for the last lap, and the drivers will have to do it on their own. I'm sure Earthquake will be hoping for the DRS not to be activated again, as that will possibly get some more drivers within his 3-second time frame. And what's the other penalty that's still active? That's for Harvey, and I assume that will be his 3-second time penalty. Yeah, so the other 5-second time penalty I think it was he had has already been served in the pit. We do have the safety car coming in at this lap, even though we've got a few drivers making their way back to the rest of the grid. Maybe they make it as Earthquake backs the pack up for the restart. Maybe they don't, I'm not too sure. All depends on the timing of the restart for Earthquake. Let's focus on how he does the restart. It's going quite slow, and he's off. It looks like he's off, yes. Keeps it nicely together and already pulls a 1-second gap towards Neil. And Neil has Ale all over the back of him. And for now, Ale needs to be happy with the place in third. The harder that Neil defends from Ale, the more Curve can pull away. Already pulled away 1.5 seconds, which is half of what he needs to do to keep the lead at the end of the race. Both the Red Bull cars in 4th and 5th. So McLaren and Red Bull are doing quite good here for the points. Got Tom behind Gendot. He might have a little peak there, as Gendot had a little moment coming out of the last corner of sector 2. And he gets this done on the straight even without DRS. And they touch going into the chicane, and oh, we will see that in the steward room, I am sure. Let's go back to Ale and see if he can get his teammate on the straight. Curve already 2.1 seconds away, sets the fastest lap of a 110.9. Ale doesn't quite get it done just yet for the overtake on Neil. The McLarens are possibly slightly gaining on Curve again, and a top car, I'm sure he's in a party with his brother doing the team orders to work together and make the best use of being behind each other. So I'm sure the moment they start fighting they will lose time, and Brian will say thank you very much, I'll take both those positions. Ale again 0.2 seconds behind his teammate, but doesn't get it done again. And as we go over start finish, this time we will have the DRS open. Earthquake managed to get 3.3 seconds, 3.4 seconds now on Neil. That means he will keep his first place. Puts down another fastest lap of a 110.5. And Ale doesn't get it done again on his teammates, so Neil will keep the position again for this lap. Top House and Top Car apparently have swapped places. Might have been team orders, might have been an honest attack, who knows. But it's the fight between the brothers, between them two. Robbo slightly behind that, Brian slightly closer behind Robbo on that, and Alain finally gets the move done on Neil. On a part of the track where I'd say it's very hard to overtake. And we got a Haas that spun and he's out limited. Danny is out. And he spun it there. Oh, and Tom goes wide as well. He got on the curb, gets wide, and that's very hard to keep the car together. And Girthquake goes over start finish to take the win, more than 3 seconds, so he will keep that win as Ale takes second, Neil third, Top House in fourth, Top Car in fifth, Robbo in sixth, Brian in seventh, Harvey in eighth, but he will drop down with a 3-second time penalty. That promotes Dirk to 8, Sonneveld to 9, Denden to 10th, Harvey drops out of the points to 11 with that penalty, Friday in 12th, Cavolis in 13th, Kendall in 14th, and Tom with that late spin by Kendall, I think it was, finishes in 15th. And the game gives driver of the day to Ale, who's on 19th to second challenge. Not quite the last to first, but he's done a great job in moving towards the front of the pack. So there we have our podium with Girthquake on the top step, with the two McLaren drivers on his side, Ale in second and Neil in third. Neil getting a podium on his debut here in ERL. It's nice to see him back on track again. Welcome into ERL, Neil. And congrats on the podium, all three of you. Very nicely driven race. Fastest lap then goes to Girthquake with a 1:10.5 at the end of that race. So our DNFs are limited Danny at the very last stage. Still classified though, as he's only one lap down that he missed out of. LCC, Lange and Azarakis with the other DNFs to finish off the grid. And that has concluded our Tier 3 Zandvoort Dutch Grand Prix. We're back tomorrow, same time, for the Tier 2 race here at Zandvoort. For now, thank you very much for watching, and the link will be shared later in the comments for the donations for Ash. Thank you very much for watching, and see you tomorrow.